Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna jump right into part 2 of our rattle can Rust-Oleum two-tone paint job. We're doing all this with spray paint, y'all. That's right, this is part 2, so if you missed part 1, go check it out. I'll put a link in the description and also at the end of the video. You can just click right on it. You wanna come through here and scuff where these two colors are going to meet, because that needs to stick, you know what I mean? So, just the same as you normally would, you want to sand it down before you paint it so that it sticks. And right there is where the white and the orange are going to meet, of course. And if you don't scuff that first, you take a chance of it peeling through there. We don't want that. And just like before, we're going to use our spray wave. We're going to go through and kind of clean up our surface before we paint it. Just kind of coat my towel down. This is a lint-free paper towel, just like before. Now I'm going to take my towel and we're going to go through here and we're going to wipe all this dust off through here, because I need my tape to stick. I'm gonna go all the way around. This is where the two colors are gonna meet. We're gonna get, see that? This is all fresh, and yet you still get all that dust going. So let's get all of that wiped off. We're gonna wipe the whole surface down. See all that coming off? We'll clean that whole surface up and get it all ready so that our paint sticks. Yeah, we want this all nice and clean so that the tape sticks good and none of it bleeds through. You'd hate to come through and do all of this, and then when you peel your tape off, you see where some of the white may have bled through and got onto your orange, or vice versa, or whatever. You don't want that. Okay, so this is where the fun happens, man. We're gonna start our two-tone. All right, we're getting our first tape line down. Get that to go around the corner there. Pretty good, pretty straight, I think. Just split it right here, right in the middle, and then let it wrap over the edge like that, right? That ought to work. And we will bring this on around. Working out pretty good so far. Something like that. Let's say about right. I don't know, that kind of looks crooked to me. Let's see. Right there. That ought to get it. Wrapping it up with a little bit of plastic now. That'll keep that white overspray off of the orange, obviously. So we don't want that to happen. No, we don't want no white overspray on that fresh orange paint. That would not be good. Okay, so I got it all masked up for two-tone. I think this is gonna work fine. So yeah, there's our plastic covering up the orange like I showed you a second ago. That works out really good. Super easy. 3M makes it. You can get it at O'Reilly's or wherever. It comes in a roll, just like this here. And it spreads out to like 12 feet, I believe, and they got wider than that, and it's rather inexpensive, or it was. It may be expensive now, I don't know, but that was sent to us by a subscriber. Everything, man, everything we're doing this with minus the paint was sent to us by subscribers, right down to the razor blades that we're cutting this stuff with. So you guys are friggin' awesome. I went ahead and painted inside the jams in there with the white. Sorry you guys, I didn't bring you along for that part, but super easy. Went ahead and just got that done, shut the doors, and now we're ready for the outside. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick. Take you some cheap clear coat, spray it over your tape lines, give it a second to dry. This stuff dries really fast, and that's gonna seal up our tape. That'll keep us from bleeding through. Gives us a little added insurance. Just a really light little dusting, just enough to bridge over that tape and onto the surface, and then it's going to seal it up, as you could probably imagine. Oh, she's looking good now. That's just first coat. I'll throw another one on there and then we'll untape it and show it to you. I didn't show you guys this. This is where we did the jams. Went ahead and threw a little paper in there to kind of help with the overspray. Okay, so this is where we find out if our clear coat trick worked. Oh, so far so good. So far so good. I don't see nothing bleeding through yet. All right, we're off to a good start. Yeah, that clear coat trick worked out pretty good. We've made it halfway around so far and no bleed through. Well, we even got it good up in the jam. Look at that. Nice. Okay, last one. This is where it'll all go to hell. We made it all the way around the truck and you get right to the last of it, right? Nah, it looks like we're in the clear. Look at that. Look at that. I guess we can go ahead and untape the back windshield. Why not? Okay, man, we are nearing the home stretch. I'm just prepping my hood here. All we have left is the front clip, and we will be done with the painting. There's a little bit more two-toning that has to go on because of the grill and everything. It's going to be white to match the roof, and then of course all this will be orange. All I did was go over the whole hood just like the rest of it, 320 grit, and now I'm just kind of going through, getting all around my edges, all around these body lines, everything with my Scotch Brite, and we are just about done here. Let's blow a little air on it, get some of this dust off. All right, that's better. Now we'll go through and wipe it all down with our spray away glass cleaner, just like we did on all the rest of it. Hit it with a tack cloth, and then we can go ahead and hit it up with the paint. I'll show you here what I was talking about with the two-tone on the front. Yeah, it's pretty common for these to have white up front, and it's got a line right here. You can probably see that's where the color will split, and then everything inside of here will remain white, and then everything outside of here will be orange. And that'll kind of tie in with our top. I think it's going to look awesome. Yeah, I'm just going to take my spray away. We'll hit up our lint-free paper towels just like before, and then we'll go through and we'll wipe this whole thing down. I like to take my rags and fold them over on top of themselves a couple times, just like that, and then we'll come through. We will wipe this off, and you can see, even though we blew it off with the air compressor, still got a lot of dust that's got to come off, and that's going to affect whether or not your paint sticks, man. If you try to paint over that dust, you can only imagine it's not going to stick. So we got to do that a few times, and then of course we'll take and fold it back over onto the clean area, and we'll just keep right on and going. And I'll probably have to do this about 500,000 times before we finally stop picking up dirt. Even once you go back over the area you've already wiped, chances are you're still going to be picking that stuff up over and over again. So lots of rags. Don't be surprised if you don't use a couple of rolls of paper towels, but it is cheap insurance on getting your paint to stick. It will not stick to all that dust, I promise you. Okay, y'all, pardon the fan noise. It's extremely hot out here. I had to kick them on. So what I've done a little back taping here. So yeah, we've just back taped. We got the sticky side out, and now my plastic's gonna sit right on there. We're gonna trim out everything that we're gonna paint and leave the plastic on the parts that we're not gonna paint. Reason I'm doing this, I don't want overspray going on this other painted surface. I kind of did this in stages to kind of help with the overspray. If we did this all at once, there would be overspray all over everything, and we would take a chance of it having that splotchy look. So that's why I've kind of went through and kind of broke things up into sections, went ahead and got out of this area and kind of left the front clip by itself. You see what I'm saying? I even went ahead and masked underneath the hood there. Off camera, I actually went through and sprayed my fender wells so they're nice and black, kind of a semi-gloss black, and I want to keep all of this orange and white and everything off of it. So I went ahead and did that. What I'll do is I'll leave the hood kind of up just a little bit so that we'll be able to get some paint all along these edges. But look right here, you can see where I've already went through and edged in the bottom side. That way all of that part is done. And then we could just kind of set the hood down like so and get busy on the rest of it. So here's our plastic, some good 3M stuff. This was sent to us by a subscriber, much appreciated. The good thing about the 3M is that you could get your overspray on it and it won't flake off like a lot of plastic does. So there's no need to run paper around it or anything. You can paint right up to this stuff. I've never had an issue with anything flaking off of it. It's really cool. Just want to take this stuff, just spread it all out. They sell different sizes. I believe this one is the 12-footer. They actually sell one size bigger than this, but this stuff does pretty good. This should get us what we need right here. And what we'll do is we'll push it down till it comes in contact with our tape, and then we'll trim it out. Yeah, you just come back over here to the middle and look at that. You just pull this apart and it should cover exactly what we need it to. Yeah, I'll just roll that right over the edge. Look at that. Come back over to the middle, find our seam, and just pull this right over where we need it, just like we did the other side. So now that I got it all spread out where I want it, I'm just going to pull it down to our tape. Somewhere about right in there, I guess. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Now we could come in and actually push it down onto that tape line. See that? We'll do that all the way down through here, and then we'll go back and trim off this part of it that we don't need. Yeah, just push that down right onto that tape. Perfect. Now I got both sides. We can come in and start trimming. It's pretty easy. You're just gonna run your knife along that edge, but not so hard that you're poking through the plastic or the tape. You see, it'll come right off. So we'll do that all the way down through here. And all we'll be left with is just the surface that we want paint. That'll be the only part that's not masked. Pretty cool, huh? Easy peasy. Just about to finish this up. You guys notice how quiet it is? That's because you got to turn the fan off to do this part. Otherwise your plastic just goes all over the place and you'll just spend all your time fighting it. No fun. So we'll definitely want to get this done before I have a heat stroke or the freaking camera craps out on me. It doesn't like it. The camera will give out before I do. That's kind of funny, but it's true. It will. It'll start overheating on me. Oh God, there it goes now. Camera said, to hell with this, it's going back in the house. Well, hey, I wanted to show y'all, if you run into any mistakes while you're trimming out your plastic, it's not a big deal. Just fill in little spots. I'll show you one right here. I got a little carried away and ended up pulling it loose from my tape. That is not a big deal. Just run through here and just throw you another piece right over the top of it. The tape sticks to that plastic really well, so no issues. All right, all the masking's done except for this front piece here. This is going to complete our two-tone. So I'm going to go through and mask it off right now, and it's got these natural lines right through the fender here, and then it's got a body line right through here. That's where we'll split the color, and everything inside of here will stay white, and then everything will be orange on the outside. We'll take our fine line tape and run it right through the top of here. I think about right there is where we'll split it. Put it about right there. That ought to make it nice and even all the way across. And now we can throw us some masking paper on, close up the area. Okay, so we're all masked up. We're going to go through and do our clear coat trick. You guys remember where the two-tone meets? Yeah, this is the trick we used earlier. and it worked really good. It just seals up your tape, and all we're doing is just a really light little dusting here where the two colors meet, and that way if this bleeds through, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what kind of clear coat you use. I'm just using whatever I've got laying around. This is actually an engine enamel, works fine. It's gonna dry really quickly. And yeah, if it bleeds through the tape, it's see-through, so you won't see it, but it will seal the tape so that when you come through with your color, it won't bleed through. You see what I'm saying? All right, here we go. Just like before, we just want to keep it really nice and wet. Keep that edge wet. Don't get out too far ahead of yourself. Remember, on the first coat, we just want coverage. And then that next coat is when we'll really, really hammer it. This is our tack coat, remember? Just want it nice and sticky and just covered. Don't forget your edges. Good thing about the flat surfaces like this, when they're horizontal like that, you don't have to worry about runs as much until you get around over here on the side. Just going to take that all the way down to the edge of the hood there, and I'm just going to focus on the hood for now, and then we'll drop down to the fenders. Now another little trick that you could do is when you get around over here to the sides, I've got some of my emptier cans. They got a little bit in them, but not enough to spray like this. But as long as you got the can held up right, they work fine. So what I'll do is I'll bring these around to this side, and that's what I'll use over here to finish up and get the most out of each can. You see what I'm saying? We don't want to be leaving nothing behind, man. This stuff's too expensive. But it works perfectly for the vertical areas. That way we're not leaving nothing behind. You see? All of that would have went to waste because none of it was going to work up here. As soon as you start spraying like this, it's going to start spitting and sputtering. Now I'll go back to my can that has a lot more in it to kind of finish up these flatter areas here. The horizontal areas, I should say. Yeah, just another little trick. Don't throw them away. Keep them set to the side and then get the rest of it out like I just showed you. All right, we'll start our other side. Make sure we get our edges here. And then we'll come right out and do the same thing on this side, obviously. I've got my fans set up over here behind me. Kind of help suck the paint fumes and the overspray away from us. Got a window open. Want good ventilation when you're doing this. I know we talked about that earlier, but it really is important. About to get over here to this edge again. And now I can switch back to my emptier can. I've got a couple of them over here on standby. And that's what I'm going to use on all of these vertical areas. You can see there we're we're getting the most out of this can right here. Now I got another one over here I'm gonna do the same thing with. Like I said before, we just want coverage on this first pass. We're just trying to get that sticky tack coat going on. And then our next coat, we're going to hammer it on here, meaning we're going to hose it down. And it's going to have something good to stick to. Switching over to my empty can. We'll get the sides here. Now notice that I'm focusing on one panel at a time. That just kind of helps with my overspray. And like I said before, it just keeps us from getting too far out ahead of ourselves. Once you start getting out too far ahead, it starts turning out really dry and splotchy looking. Especially on a day like today. It's really hot out here, especially in the shop. We're pushing well over 100 degrees. This stuff wants to dry literally as it's coming out of the can, I shit you not. So you gotta get it on here wet. I can't emphasize that enough. Alright, this panel's so damn big that by the time you get to the end of it, you could just about start all over again. No really need to let anything dry or nothing. I've already got my next can ready. Like I said before, I mentioned in a previous video, have 2 cans shook up, ready to go. That way, when you run out of one, you just pick up the other one and just go with it. So this is where we really get it on here. Obviously, we don't really have to worry about runs when we're dealing with this flat horizontal area. So we could really get it on here, which is good. It's a hood. A hood's going to take a lot of abuse from the sun. So we want it on here nice. So I'm just going to do more of the same. I'm just going to hose this thing down just like I've done the whole rest of everything. I think you guys have seen plenty of that. And I will come back in just a minute when it comes time to do that two-tone up on the front. I know a lot of you guys want to see that. I think that's really going to set the truck off, having that white grille. And then I got a white bumper that I'm going to put on here as well. And it's going to look really cool, I think. It's going to kind of tie everything together between that and the white mirrors. I think this is going to look really cool. It's going to have kind of an old school look to it. We're not going for a brand new paint job. Sometimes you got to shake as you go. I know most of y'all know that. But yeah, we're not going for a brand new shiny new paint job look. We just want this to look like an old truck with a 40-50-year-old paint job that's just somehow made it all these years with nothing more than just a little paint fade, you know, some dents and some scratches here and there, you know, that sort of thing. Let me switch over. Here we go. This is our empty one that we talked about. See how good that looks? Just come in and see, if I was trying to use this up here, it would just be splotchy all over the place because it's just damn near empty. Oh, it's really good down here though. So this is why I went ahead and shot underneath there ahead of time. That way I'm not up underneath here trying to do all this crap. I could do it while the hood was up. Much easier, obviously.
Now the best way I know to do all of this, and this is with any kind of painting, I don't care if you're spray painting or if you're painting with a spray gun or anything, is to use your lighting to your advantage. Angle up the lighting. In other words, like get down where you can see this actually going on. Because you're going to play with that lighting a lot. You're going to depend on it a lot. If you don't get down to where you can actually see it just right, you won't be able to see if that shininess is building up just right, and you won't be able to see if you skipped over anything. Stop and give your can a little shake every once in a while. Yeah, use that lighting to your advantage. Just get down there and angle off of it however you need to, so that you can actually see all of that laying down on there just right. Got to keep your work area small. You know, I go about maybe 1.5 to 2 square foot at a time. And I don't leave that area until I know it's covered up. Switching over to one of my empties to do a horizontal area. That's one of the best tricks I could tell you guys. I mean, I'm sure it's just common sense, but I know, man, there's somebody out there that's going to throw this can of paint in the trash just because they can't get it to spray out on that horizontal area. And all they had to do is just save it for the vertical areas. Look at all that extra paint we're getting. That is going to save us every bit of a can or two on this overall job, which is good. This stuff is $7 a gallon, or $7 a can, I should say. I wish it was $7 a gallon. You can't even buy house paint for that anymore. I'll move on down to the fenders now. I think we'd call that hood good enough. This is why I left the hood cracked, so I could get up in there where the bolts are, you know. Work our way around here now. Man, that was a close one, y'all. We literally came down to the very last can. Look at this. That's the last one, man. And I've got just enough to cover up this bottom little filler piece. That's it. Yeah, we're running out now. That's okay. That's okay. We made it.
Man, I'll tell you what. Wearing a mask, a respirator, and this heat is just unreal. I can't believe I used to do this for a living. I used to work in a paint booth that was around 120 degrees, full paint suit, respirator, the whole 9 yards, and would just be in there for hours and hours every day for years. And I'll tell you what, I feel like I'm dying right now. I don't know how I used to do it. Well, okay, let's see what we ended up with. I let it dry for a few hours. It don't take very long for that to dry in this heat. It's so friggin' hot out here. It's crazy. So let's see what we got. This is always the funnest part, is getting in here and unwrapping it, right? Seeing what we came up with. Hopefully none of our two-tone bled through, you know, the overspray where the two colors meet. We'll find that out in just a minute. We know, I don't know if did I show you all this earlier? We know that this all turned out great. Like, look at the fine line, man. That's awesome. None of it bled through anywhere. So that all turned out awesome. Let's get some of this plastic. The best part about the way we wrap this up is that it's really easy to unwrap. Yeah, just come through and just pull it right loose from the edge there. See that? Remember we taped it from under, we did a thing called back taping, and that's where we tape it from the bottom side there, so it makes it super easy. We'll go through from the other side, work our way to the middle. Get all this side unwrapped, and we'll throw it up over to the middle, just like we did the other side, just like that. And you just come through and you just push that down off that edge, just like that. Throw all that over here, roll it up into a little ball, like so. We'll take it to the trash. Let's see what we ended up with here. I'm liking it so far. Let's see. We want to get this undone. Oh yeah, remember I told y'all I went ahead and sprayed all of that off camera. So once all this starts coming together with the black, you know, underneath there looking all nice, and now it's kind of dirty and rusty, and then of course we're going to unwrap this area and have the white meet with the orange, or two-tone, just like the top did over there. That's looking good. How y'all liking that? That looks pretty freaking nice. Look at that. Boy, we're off to a good start, ain't we? Well, one thing, we are making a mess. Look at this. Got all this crap everywhere, paint cans all over the place. Oh, this is going to brighten up the party right here. Look at this. I got paper sticking on, look at this, sticking onto me. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the rest of my paper here. I like to pull the paper first, and then come back and pull that fine line, you know? I don't know, it just gives me a little more control, it feels like. So yeah, let's get this paper on out of there. Go and get this off of here. Man, I'm loving the way the orange and white comes together. That is so fun to see. So yeah, anyway, let's go back here, get this pulled off here. This is looking just fine, y'all. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. I'm not going to complain one bit. A little cheap paint job out of a rattle can that we got from Walmart. It's Rust-Oleum, it's good stuff. Obviously, I mean, they didn't sponsor me, they didn't give me any of this stuff. So I'm happy to say I'm very impressed with it. Tape can be kind of tricky sometimes. Let's get in here. There we go. Go and get that off there. Run that on down there. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to pull this tape the same way. Same way we did the other tape. Kind of pulling it away from the orange because the orange was sprayed over the white. So it's the fresh. It's the fresh stuff, y'all. The white was already set up nice. This orange is still soft. So I don't want to pull, if I pull this way, I'm going to peel that orange right off of there, I guarantee it. So we want to pull away like this and slow. We want to go slow. There's no reason. What's the hurry, man? Why are we getting in a hurry? You know, go slow with this. Go slow with this, and you can see there, look at that. See that line? It's a really nice line. We can come back here and finish up with our ring tape that's up in there. We'll go ahead and get that out of there. But yeah, isn't that a nice look though? So clean. Got to get our bezels on there. Alright, we're coming to the end, y'all. Just about there. That's the last of it. Well, there she is, y'all. What do you think? You know, the bad thing about having all that nice and shiny and looking good is it makes stuff like that stand out like a sore thumb. So I think we need to do something about that next. We'll have to do that on a different video. This video is getting pretty long, but dang, look at that, y'all. That looks pretty freaking good. I mean, that ain't bad for some spray paint that you could get at Walmart. I mean, that's some pretty sweet two-tone we got going on there, man. This is all $7 a can spray paint, Rust-Oleum. Yeah, man, this stuff right here, I've just been getting it down at Walmart. It's like $6.95 a can. This is more for somebody that doesn't want to invest in air compressors and all that paint guns and what have you. So if you guys like how the old truck turned out, man, appreciate it if you leave me a little thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. That really helps the channel a lot, and that'll make it where we could do more videos like this in the future. And there'll be more to come. I do thank y'all for watching. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here.